1 in every 110 children today in the United States are born with autism. 1 out of 70 boys have autism. This is a shocking statistic. This statistic was recorded recently in December of 2009 by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Autism is on the uprise. Today I will discuss autism, and I will inform you of autism awareness, which will equip you to encourage and support autistic children and their families in our church. My recent study in psychology, in my 2 psychology classes, along with my recent visit to Yale Institute in Cherry Hill that caters to children with autism, provided me with facts and also with the observational experience to be able to be creditable to present this speech to you today on autism. At the end of this speech, you will better understand the causes, the symptoms, the behavioral traits of autism, and you will have the knowledge that will provide you with the insight into an autistic world. Okay, causes. Okay. Autism is a complex developmental disorder that affects the function of the brain. Brain scans have proven to show abnormality in both the function and the structure of the brain. And recent research done by Pat Levitt and his team have uncovered the recent findings of a link in the brain that links to the gene of autism. So autism is genetic, and it is a developmental brain disorder. Okay. There are some common traits of autism that some of you may be aware of. Children with autism have a lot of sensory issues. There's 5 spectrums of autism, and they range from low functioning to high functioning. And they're sensitive to, they have verbal skills that they lack, they're sensitive to sounds, to touch, to textures, and environmental noises. But in all these traits, you will always find 3 common traits that they share. And the 3 common traits that they will always share, no matter what the level of their function is the language disability, the social disability, and the behavioral disability. Early intervention is crucial. Autism can be detected as early as 18 months of age. And there is a 75% success rate with early intervention. For example, if a child is diagnosed early and receives 1 to 2 years of intense intervention, they will be successful in achieving language. And they will achieve this at the age of about 5, which is the normal typical age for them to enter school. So by providing them with early intervention, you are really equipping them to have a more successful education. And it dramatically makes a change from a chronic disability to a high-functioning child. Okay. Interventions for children with autism include things such as teachers' approach, parent support, suitable curriculum, one-on-one health therapies, strategies for language and dealing with unwanted behavior, and also strategies and techniques to help them improve in their social skills. With the uprise of autism and with it becoming vital, I feel that we need to equip ourselves to serve these families, So I'm hoping that through this speech, I've given you the opportunity to serve the families who are facing a lifetime of support for their children. For autism is a lifetime disability. We can't change the statistics, but we can understand the causes, the symptoms, the behavioral traits, and this will enable us to better serve our families. The Autistic Associate recognizes that there is power in one person, one organization, and one idea. Each of us can make a difference and support this mission. I'm open for 3 questions.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
What percentage or whatever of autistic children, when they get older, are able to live on their own?
Children that receive early intervention can become very functional. They can, as an example, we have children in our church that I did not even know and was not even aware of that they are autistic because they had very early child intervention. Yeah, it's the key. Early childhood intervention is the key, and so is the symptoms and the parents understanding the symptoms, because a lot of times the parent takes their child to the doctors and they're saying, oh, well, you know, my child isn't speaking, and the doctor's like, oh, that's nothing, or, you know, I noticed that my child doesn't respond to my voice, and they might disregard that. So it's important as a community and for families to actually really know what the signs are, so that the child can be diagnosed early and can begin with the intervention. The therapeutic interventions, besides education, they're also physical for their sensories, their motor skills. They have behavioral therapy that helps them to redirect their behavior. So it's very expensive and very important. Does anybody else have a question?
Are they dangerous?
Yes, actually, because they don't have, some of them, to remember, they vary in degree. Sometimes because they don't have sensories, they can overreact, and they could become dangerous to themselves or to others. An example is my nephew, who has Down, becomes extremely, when he gets frustrated, he'll actually gouge at his arm, and he will literally make himself bleed. And sometimes they can't communicate they don't even feel pain sometimes, and sometimes they cannot communicate that to you. So they're really locked in a world of non-communicating. So the best thing is to help them in ways to communicate. One more? Okay.
Is it true that, because I've heard this before, is it true that a kid with this problem, that they can, in the other side, can be really good in a subject like in math or in languages, like other languages besides this first one? Is that true?
Yes, because they tend to stay focused on one thing, and they refocus on one thing. And they will be really good at building blocks or mathematics and things like that. Yeah, that's the way their brain functions. When I spoke about repetitiveness, I talked about them flapping their arms. They will also, maybe twirl an object. And those things are called stimuluses, but they're negative stimuluses. And so in therapy, what you want to encourage them to is refocus them. And if a child is stimulating on things such as mathematics and building, that would be a good stimulus. Yeah, and their brain is very highly functioning in that, for some of them in that way.